Welcome to our presentation on the impact of COVID-19 on the tourism industry. Tourism is a critical component of global economy, generating trillions of dollars in revenue and providing employment opportunities for the millions of people worldwide. The industry encompasses a broad range of activities including transportation, accommodation, food and beverages, and entertainment. From historical landmarks to nature wonders, the tourism industry has something to offer for every type of traveler. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on the industry, disrupting travel patterns and changing consumer behavior. The pandemic has resulted in unpredictable decline in tourism activity, with international tourist arrivals dropping by 72% in 2020. The impact has been particularly severe in developing countries, where tourism is a significant contributor to the economy. The loss of revenue and jobs has been devastating for many businesses and the communities. In this presentation, we will examine the impact of COVID-19 on the tourism industry in greater detail. We will explore the challenges that the businesses and destinations have faced during the pandemic and the new ideas they have adopted to adapt the new reality. Our group will also look at emerging trends in tourism and the opportunities that are arising in the industry recovers. Finally, we will discuss the critical steps that need to be taken to ensure industry sustainable and equitable growth in the future. Thank you for joining us as we explore the impact of COVID-19 on the tourism industry. We hope that this presentation will provide you with valuable insights into industry challenges and the opportunities.
Hi everyone, I'm going to discuss what the tourism industry looks like before COVID. Before COVID-19, travel and tourism have become one of the most important sectors in the world economy with less travel restrictions. Just in comparison, in 1950, only 25 people took foreign trips compared to 2019 with over 1.5 billion international tourist arrivals. Here are some statistics to prove the growth of the tourism industry before the pandemic. In 2012, the global hotels and resorts market was worth around $9 million USD, and it steadily hovered just around $1 trillion USD until it broke that barrier in 2016. From there, it continued to grow until reaching 2019's 1.5 trillion USD in value. In 2019, the travel and tourism sector contributed 10.3% to global GDP. Travel and tourism accounted for 1 in 4 of all new jobs created across the world. In 2019, the number of jobs in the travel and tourism sector worldwide was 333 million, denoting an increase over the past year. This is 10.3% of all the jobs in the world. 1.5 billion international tourist arrivals were recorded in 2019, globally, a 4% increase on the previous year. And since 2005, Europe has been the global region attracting the highest number of international tourists, recording over 300 million inbound arrivals prior to the pandemic, France being the most loved and top 10 most visited countries in Europe and the world in 2019. Last year, the country hosted more than 90 million tourists.
I want to discuss the significant impacts of COVID-19 in the tourism industry. The pandemic has caused a global impact, and as a result, the industry has experienced a vast revenue decrease, layoffs, and the closure of related businesses. The statistics paint a grim picture of the decline in the industry. In 2020, international tourist arrivals decreased by 72% and 1.3 trillion loss in export revenue. The hotel industry has also been hit hard, with occupancy rates declining by 50%. The pandemic has cost the tourism industry over 100 million jobs worldwide, with women and young people most affected. The decrease in the tourism has also impacted the income of those employed in the industry, especially those in developing countries who rely heavily on tourism for their livelihoods. Now, Yasmin will talk about the changes in this industry.
Change in the tourism industry due to COVID-19 was the tourist activities in different countries were resumed, security measures for tourists and local people, workers were implemented and some of the all the next ones. Use of masks or facial protectors. This is in order to cover some areas of our body where we thought the COVID could enter to our body. Keep distance. Depending on the place where we used to be, it used to say like 1 meter or 2 meters of distance. Clean hands. Many locations had sinks, hand sanitizers, and even dispensable gloves. More open space. Staying in quarantine actually taught us the value of nature, and we want to see or try outdoor activities. And for those people who work in office, it was necessary to have ventilated places. Limited capacity, it was reducing the number of people who could access to a certain area. Avoid socializing. It was not recommended to maintain contact with other people beyond those with whom we were traveling. COVID tests with negative results. Depending on the place where you were going, they were asking you to have a COVID test, different types of COVID tests with a negative result, and vaccination card. Although it's no longer mandatory, at some point it was to present to your record with doses that you have received. Domestic tourism. For many countries in the world, tourism is the main resource of income. So when pandemic arrived, many business went bankrupt and many people lose their jobs. So governments try to create some strategies to help this kind of people, this business. So, for example, in Thailand, the government invests more than $700 million promoting the local tourism. In Barbados, they introduced a type of visa that they call welcome stamp, in which they have 1 year of permanent resident for those people who used to work at home. Innovation and adaptation of tourism businesses. Although we know that digital media it was a huge during this time that many companies they open their social medias. That was not everything. Companies start creating contingency plans for natural disasters. We never thought that it could happen, but yeah, companies now they do it. Focusing also more on the hygiene and safety because when we travel we want to be comfort, we want to be secure in our trips. So companies also start focusing on that. Thank you.
So now let's move forward to the post-COVID tourism industry. So as we know that COVID-19 has affected a lot of things, which also includes the tourism industry. So let's start with the predictions. So the predictions that have made is that the upcoming years, the COVID-19 pandemic will get recovered and will start a new normal life in the tourism industry. A lot of people will travel, but new security measures will be in place, effective marketing strategies, and the comprehensive operations will result in an increase in tourism industry. We also get to know that Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, has also predicted that at least 50% of the tourism industry will come to an end in the upcoming years after this COVID. And it is also projected that the GDP of the travel and tourist sector would reach near about $9.6 billion in 2023. And if it is also noted that and by 2022, at 40% of the fall was there in the tourism. And let's see what happens in the upcoming years. So here is the example of expectations for international tourism to return to pre-pandemic levels. So it is also predicted that in 2024, the level of the tourism will a little bit increase, but as compared to 2023, it will get decreased because the people have started thinking about the pandemic, that what happened and all that, which will lead to the decrease as well as increase in the travel industry. So here is another example of the scenarios of the years from 2021 to 2024. So here are the actual data and the scenarios which they have predicted that what happen in the internet to the international tourist. How much people they will travel in the whole world. So if we have to talk about the changes in consumer behavior and preferences, so there are a lot of changes. Like we have got the information through various sources that as we know the pandemic started from the China, so China will be less visited place by people and they will start taking sanitation as well as precautions seriously while traveling. Uh, Along with this, people will start counting on the airlines and the travel sector to put safety precautions in place. So, as per the research, we found that nearly 78% of travelers have asked for the contactless staff for their visits as they want all technology based activities and staff. Along with this, they have started touchless payments, like they have started doing the payments through their mobile phones or other apps, which also leads to the various changes in consumer behavior. As we have to get for the opportunities for growth and recovery in the tourism industry after this COVID pandemic, there will be a lot of changes in the tourism industry related to the opportunities for their growth and all that. So for this, firstly, they will reevaluate their connections with online travel firms, which will be an opportunity for the travel industry, which can help attain recovery. Along with this, the growth and recovery in the tourism industry will lead to an opportunity for the people to get a job. As the World Travel and Tourist Council stated in a conference that held in Manila that tourism sector is projected to have an average yearly expansion of 5.8% between 2022 to 2023 to 2032 versus the 2.7% increase in the global GDP and generate 126 million new jobs. Along with this, the number of jobs in the tourism industry recovered by 300 million in 2022 and 324 million in 2023, which are close to 333 million jobs recorded in 2019. So now Shreya will lead to the conclusion.
The pandemic has resulted in a historic reduction in tourism activity, as explained in this video. With foreign visitors' arrival decreasing by 72% in 2020, we investigated the obstacles that businesses and destinations encountered during the epidemic, as well as the tactics they used to cope with the fresh reality. During the pre-COVID tourism industry, we witnessed that Europe was the worldwide region trying to attract the highest percentage of foreign tourists. And France sustained its leadership in the list of the most loved, with the top 10 greatest visited countries in Europe, the world in 2019. But ever since the COVID arrived, we have witnessed foreign visitors' arrival declined by 73% globally, resulting in loss of $1.3 billion. Domestic tourism, on the other hand, was not significantly damaged than international tourism, with a 40% of decline compared to 73% of international tourism. In discussing the changes we noticed during COVID, we mentioned the usage of masks, regular sanitizing of the places, staying in quarantine, and other whatnot things. Many people will go eventually, but new security procedures will be in place. The GDP of the travel and the tourism sector was forecast to reach $8.35 trillion last year and $9.6 trillion by 2023, reverting to pre-pandemic levels. While the globe appears to be adjusting,
Tourism is resuming and individuals will travel as much as they wish, with safety and safeguard.